All right, so I'm going to get started. So my name is Sarah, and I'm the digital marketing manager here at Customer Focus. And I'm also a millennial, so I've been using social media for roughly 14 years. I've seen it evolve from MySpace to Facebook to Twitter. Now we have, Google Plus, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, just to name a few. The list goes on. It went from being a really fun way of staying connected to your friends into a powerful business tool that allows companies to reach countless audiences. But social media is also like a double-edged sword in the sense that it's always changing. So it's great because there's always new, innovative ways to reach your target audience, but it's also something that you have to stay active on. Or so if you want to stay current, with the recent changes. So today I hope to enlighten you on a few different ways to use social media to your business's advantage. So let's get started. Okay, so connecting social media and lead generation. So a long time ago, lead generation consisted of things like sending out surveys in the mail or having you fill out a form in the back of a magazine. I'm sure you all remember that. But the internet has completely changed the way that businesses get leads, and for the better. So social media makes the process even easier because all the information is readily accessible for your followers or likers. So we're living in a time where 40% of people spend more time socializing on social media than face to face, and that's huge. So needless to say, social media makes for the perfect place to find your target audience and turn them into new sale leads. So let's start with the basics. Lead generation, it's all about bringing people into your sales funnel. So it's not the same thing as selling. So think of lead generation as gathering intelligence on your customers. So you're getting to know what they're interested in and how to effectively approach them. Let me just expand this a little bit. My Mac is not cooperating with me. Okay. So why focus on social media? So it's easy for you to access new customers. It makes you more familiar and recognizable with existing customers. For example, a frequent Twitter user could hear about your company for the first time after stumbling upon it in their newsfeed. Or a current customer could become better acquainted with your brand after seeing your presence on multiple networks. So here's an interesting finding. According to a report published by Texas Tech University, brands who engage on social media actually enjoy higher loyalty from their customers. And what business owner wouldn't want more loyal customers? So this is mainly due to the fact that they're not forgotten. So you'll stay on your customer's mind as they see the value that you have to offer. So every post you make on social media, it's an opportunity for customers to convert. So when you build a following, you'll simultaneously have access to new customers, recent customers, and old customers, and you'll be able to interact with all of them. So every blog you post, image, video you share is a chance for someone to react, and every reaction can lead to a site visit and eventually a conversion. So it's important to note that not every interaction with your brand is going to result in a conversion, but every positive interaction, it increases the likelihood of an eventual conversion. So keep in mind, social media marketing results in higher conversion rates in a few distinct ways, and the most significant is its humanization element. So social media is a place where your business can act like a person, and this is important because people like doing business with other people, not companies. So which social media platform should you be on? I know there's so many, but one of the worst mistakes you can make is trying to get leads from the wrong social media channel. So this step is all about knowing your customers. And with over 1 billion users, it's easy to assume that Facebook is just the go-to choice, but that's not always the case. And you'll actually see in one of the success stories I'll be sharing with you where they were able to generate more than 50% of their leads through Twitter. So for the average promotional distributor or sign maker, aka you guys, I always recommend just start with the basic three. So Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, which I'm happy to see most of you kind of already have a little bit of a presence on there. So these three are pretty intuitive to use, and your typical customer is active on these sites. Trust me, I know, we've surveyed them. So So to add or not to add, yes, I absolutely support that each and every one of you run a social media ad, even if it's a short one, because guess what? It's going to help boost your page so you're not sweating over reaching, 100 likes or 500 followers. So with a Facebook ad, you have highly targeted opportunities to reach your audience. So they appear on the right-hand side of the user's screen, and they're similar to traditional pay-per-click ads where you place a bid on how much you want to pay per click, or you pay per 1,000 people who see your ad. So this is pretty typical to a Google pay-per-click ad where the cost depends on the popularity of your keyword terms. So if you choose to link Facebook ads to your website, or you can have it linked to how many likes you get. So I would recommend for all of you to have an ad correspond with how many likes your page gets, just so you get that extra boost. You can also target the ad based on different demographic criteria. So if you've listened to any of my past webinars, you've heard how I always stress the importance of knowing your target audience. And this is why, because when you're doing an ad, you want to make sure the right people are seeing it. So if you haven't already kind of done just a little bit of research on who your customers are, the average industry that they're in, location, that is a great idea because it's going to help optimize your ads. So Twitter also offers ads on a per post basis, or they have a promoted accounts ad. So I don't know if you've ever been on Twitter and you kind of see the who to follow list. So that's where you would be. And basically, it's who a user would typically follow or a similar business or industry. So if you have a competitor on Twitter or Facebook, you'll be right next to them. So it's going to kind of give the user a few different options, and it's not going to let them dominate the industry. So how to manage multiple sites. So when I started out in marketing, I was mainly focusing on social media. It's a job they love to give young people right out of college. And being a millennial, I luckily grew up with social media being the norm. So I already knew how to navigate through each social platform. But one thing I learned on the job was using auto posting tools to free up my time. And this is key because no one, I repeat, no one with a real life has time to just sit on social media all day, every day. And I'd be lying if I said coming up with content to share every day was easy. But here's a little insight that will make your social media journey a little easier. So I would designate Monday mornings as your social media brainstorming time. So this is where you come up with at least 12 things to share throughout the week. So you could have 2 posts per day. And I would schedule one for 9 a.m. and another for 2 p.m. because as much as we don't like to admit it, everyone, or at least most people, check their social media pages in the morning when they get to work and after lunch. You can also auto set for the weekends. It kind of just depends on when your customers are the most active. So I would kind of play around, see when they're responding to your posts the most. Is it in the evening on weekends? Is it during the weekdays in the morning? But just to be safe, it's always good to just post one for 9 a.m., 2 a.m., or 2 p.m., and then go on from there. So these auto posting apps, they help you use your time more efficiently. You can sit down, write a week's worth of tweets, and then load them up so you won't have to log in all week. So essentially, your social media accounts will remain active without your presence, but you'll still need to comment and interact with your users, but that's the fun part. So here are the top 3. Hootsuite, it's arguably the most popular social media posting app. It has integrations for most social platforms, so Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. But what makes Hootsuite the best in my eyes is the social analytics. So there's loads of reports where you can track shareability and success. So they have a free plan you can use, and who doesn't love free? So it won't cost you anything. But if you do want to dig a little deeper into the analytics, of course, they make you pay a fee. But I would just try to get the most out of the free account. That's what I always used, and it was enough. Let's see. So like Hootsuite, the TweetDeck application, it lets you view feeds for multiple social platforms on one dashboard. So you can post different accounts on different platforms with just one click. But unlike Hootsuite, TweetDeck is specifically for Twitter. So, but it can really make you a power player on Twitter because it allows you to create a column for your competitors. So you can monitor their activity and you can use their feed to get ideas for your own posts. Because let's be real, it's hard to come up with original content 100% of the time. So it's good to sort of feed off of power players in the industry just to see what direction they're going with and sort of just putting a spin on it and making it your own. So Buffer is another free option and it's extremely user friendly. So if you're kind of a little bit lost on the other two, this one, it's pretty plug and play. So you can separate it into different time spacing. So you could post every 4 hours, or you could just adjust the buffers as you'd like. And I see a few questions popping in, but don't worry guys, I'll get to those at the end. And if I don't, I will email all of you individually. Don't worry, I have all your contact information. Okay, so content. So here's a few different ways to share your content. Don't get stagnant by just posting only blogs. I would try to mix it up with a case study or even something like a video every now and again where you keep your audience engaged. So a fun idea would be a video where you reveal a box opening of your latest product or something that's really popular on YouTube, and then you could share it on your Facebook and your Twitter. So I think the key here is just to have different variations of your content. So optimizing social media for lead gen. So you'll get the most out of social media if you post easily shareable information that's relevant to your customers. And don't forget to check your messages and respond when necessary, because as you fine tune your social media plan, you'll also notice that they're not all created equally. I think you probably already have a sense that LinkedIn's a little bit more business, whereas Facebook gives you a little bit more freedom to be fun and quirky. Okay, so here are social media lead gen power tips. Number one, don't take yourself too seriously. So not every post has to be a direct sales message. It's okay for you to show a little personality on your business page or even on your Twitter page. Number two, organic isn't enough. So as mentioned earlier, don't be afraid to invest in a social media ad. So LinkedIn's a little bit on the pricier end. I'm not sure if you'd want to jump into that right away, but Facebook, you can have an ad for as low as $1 per day. I mean, that's amazing. Who can't do that? As any business owner, I think that you can afford $1 per day just to test it. And you base it on how many clicks or how much traffic you're willing to get based on that $1 or how much money you're willing to spend per week. And it's really worth it just to test it, kind of see what feedback you get. So three, focus on valuable offers. So let's be real, you're not on social media just to get likes. You want those likes to mean something. In the same sense, your customers or potential customers, they're active on your page because they also want something in return. So make sure the offer, whether it's a discount or a contest, it's something that is of value to your customer. For creating a strong call to action or CTA. So if you're featuring, let's say, a product, make sure you provide a link to that product to your website. Or if you're offering consultative services, make sure you provide a phone number or a landing page, and try to only have one link per post just so you don't confuse people. Number five, social is a two-way street. So social media was meant to spark conversation and engagement between users. So when you post something, don't just walk away from it. Always have the goal of starting a conversation. And when it finally happens, be sure to respond and keep them engaged. Answer the questions, provide more insight for them. So I know I recommended the auto posting tool. So just don't get too caught up in that where you're thinking everything's taken care of and you forget your social media. Just make sure to check it, respond to people. Okay, so content marketing call to action. So whether you're posting a direct sales message or educational material, the content should have a clear call to action, as I mentioned in the last slide. So the CTA is the part of your marketing message that should persuade people to act. So your standard call to action might be to ask your reader to subscribe to your blog, download a case study, ebook, or to sign up for a consultation. Okay, industry insight. So hashtag promotions, they're a promotional product distributor based in the UK, and they recently won Constant Contact's Digital Award for Best Use of Social Media. And they've successfully generated 60% of new leads from social media. Crazy, right? And when hashtag promo submitted their profile for the award, they had to fill out a survey. And luckily, because Customer Focus and Constant Contact have a relationship together, I was able to get some key insight into their strategy. So their main focus seems to be Twitter, but their tips, as I'm about to share with you, they're applicable to any social platform. Okay. Okay. So, sorry if my email is popping up, guys. So when they were asked what their objective was, they said to advertise, or not to advertise, but to engage. So do you see how they're incorporating something that the user can relate to with a product that they offer? It's not a direct sales pitch, but it's getting the user to start thinking about different ways to use the product. As a promotional distributor or even a sign maker, this is easy for you to do. So rather than posting, here's the latest products, buy now, you can use specific products to relate to relevant or local things that are going around. So that will require a little bit more thinking outside of the box, but trust me, it's going to be well worth it. Since you'll all hopefully be utilizing the auto posting apps as I suggested, this should free up the rest of the week for you to interact with your followers. So don't be afraid to show your personality in the responses, but keep in mind a conversation in Twitter and Facebook's a bit different than one on Google Plus or LinkedIn. But as you're conversing with your followers, just be cognizant of the platform that you're using. But just notice how they're being very friendly and fun with their responses. It's not just very business like, thank you for your time. They're being engaging, and it's making people like them and not just see them as a business, but almost see them as a friend, so to speak. So how did they get how did their campaign, how did they get it to reach their goals? So they said in addition to the obvious promotions on Twitter and Facebook, they began networking and exhibiting to get people online who would not normally. This is amazing. So since hope, or sometimes, when we get busy, we try to find shortcuts. But when it comes to building your online presence, if you really want to have results similar to hashtag promotions, then you have to go a little above and beyond to make that happen. So instead of just posting the minimum 2 posts per day, hashtag promo is going out and they're meeting people at expos and they're getting them to join their social media so they can stay in contact with them. So they've made social media a part of their company identity by actively seeking potential customers to follow and to like their pages. So I just think that that's genius. It's not something that you would normally think of to advertise at an expo, but I love this. Okay, so campaign results. So what were their results? So they said that direct messages, Facebook tweets now account for over 60% of all new business inquiries, and it's still growing for them. So will you immediately get 60% of your leads from social media? No. It will take a few months or even a year or two to build your social presence. It's not something also that you can start but not finish. But just keep in mind, it's only February, so you have a full year ahead of you to start planning and executing your new social media campaign. And hopefully just seeing how somebody else in the industry can do it and how easy it is, you'll feel a little bit more confident going into this. Okay, so aside from being absolutely adorable and creative, I want you to think about what else about this post stands out to you. Anyone? Okay, so number 1, they have a clear call to action. 2, it's fun and it's engaging. 3, it's not too salesy. 4, they're thinking outside of the box. And 5, they're responding to each and every comment. So it's important to not only share information about your brand and your products, but to also have fun with the platform, sharing information that's useful and gets followers to share your tweets and your posts. So fine-tune your social media plan and continue posting content that will enhance your followers' experience and increase your visibility. So Facebook now has a little thing, as you can see on the right, where they show how quickly businesses respond to messages. So when I'm telling you to respond to comments and things, it's not just to be fancy, it's actually going to enhance your credibility on this platform. So what really motivates people to share? So here are the top motivators for people to share. So keep these motivations in mind and just try to align them with your social offers. So consider adding some extra oomph to your social campaign by having a refer a friend program or a contest, polls, voting, or even flash sales. Because at the end of the day, as greedy as it sounds, people are always looking for a deal, and especially on social media. And social sharing, it amplifies your message and lead generation efforts because, but getting people to share isn't the easiest. So this was just a really great quote that I loved. When it comes to sharing, pick the channel where you can best tell your story. If you're better in video, use YouTube. If you're brief, use Twitter. Just pick the one that you like. Okay, utilizing the 80-20 rule. So what kind of content should you post? Social media has many different functions, including lead generation, brand awareness, and relationship building. So to be effective, you need to have a good balance of promotional content and thought leadership. So I advise you to use the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your content should be informational or educational. So if your target audience, say, it's doctors or other or marketers, you want to share content that's going to help boost their business. And then the other 20% should be self-promotional. So that would be where you would share your products and different ways that you can help them. So here's how hashtag promotion did it in summary. So they engaged, they didn't advertise. They responded to all comments, questions, and inquiries. They tagged their customers, visitors, and clients to help raise their profile. They network and exhibited to get people online who would not normally, and they created branded merchandise to help people find them online. Okay, so here is a social media checklist that I have prepared for each and every one of you, so I'll be emailing this to you. And hopefully, I know when you walk away from a webinar, usually your head's spinning and you have so many different ideas and questions. So hopefully this checklist will guide you in the right direction when you're feeling uncertain about what to post. So everybody will get a copy of this. So when you're putting together your social media plan, you can use this just to stay on track. So I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. And I see that there are a few questions. Let me see if I can go through them all. Let's see. So somebody was asking about the cost for ads and auto posting tools. So most of those auto posting tools are free. They just obviously try to get you to pay, but that's only if you wanted really deep analytics. But honestly, the social platform itself, like Facebook, Twitter, they provide those analytics for you. So I don't think it's necessary to pay. I would just go ahead and go with the free version. And as far as the different social media ads, it's all based on the budget that you decide. So like I mentioned earlier with Facebook, you can start as low as $1 per day. And I'll email you, let's see, this is Debbie. I'll email you links to the different cost setup for Twitter and even LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn's a little bit on the pricier side, so I would kind of stick with Twitter and Facebook to start with. Okay. Absolutely. I'll send this presentation via email, and I'll also give you the social media checklist as well. Yes, copy for everybody. Yes, it'll be a PDF of the PowerPoint, guys. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. So it's just linkedin.com/in/Sarah Louise Wilson. Don't laugh at my middle name. That was my grandma's name. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, I'm always online. Check my email. Just email me your questions, and I'll try to get back as quickly as possible. Thank you.